You want to talk? Fine, we'll talk. We'll talk, right? That was a fucking embarrassment. Right? I know you win some, you lose some. You can't always win. If I had those expectations, that'd be unrealistic. But in front of my home crowd at DCM, it's my 11th Del Close Marathon, in front of my friends, my peers, my idols, my heroes, to go out there and have a showing like that, get completely decimated, embarrassed. My finisher wasn't even effective. I mean, he didn't even... I gotta go back to the drawing board.
I'm Dan Black, and I'm a comedian slash podcaster slash wannabe professional wrestler.
Tonight, coming to the stage is the host of the Comedians of Wrestling podcast, the one, the only, Dan Black.
The path of the comedian and the path of the pro wrestler is very similar. You know, you both start out performing in dingy basements for no one who cares, for no money, and you have to believe in only yourself.
Like, as a comedian, I come out here, you guys clap for like 6 seconds and demand I be funny right away. If I was a professional wrestler, you guys would still be in a state of amazement right now.
Anytime I meet a wrestler, I feel like I hit it off with them instantly. Because it's kind of this, I feel like we're the same guys.
What's Dolph Ziggler's gimmick? Shawn Michaels? That's fine. I don't care.
I love professional wrestling, and I was talking about professional wrestling a lot with other comedians.
Professional wrestlers get the microphone and they're gonna say something, right? Wrestling is like never about what you're watching. You're always like, what am I watching? They get the microphone and they say something like this, like, hey, okay, so last week I was challenged to a match, and I'm here this week to tell you that match will happen next week.
Specifically, I'd be in like waiting rooms, waiting to go audition, and sometimes they make you wait forever. It's not a good life being an actor or a comedian. But and I'd bump into my friend and be like, yo, you see Brock last night? And we would just go, and then I'd be like, you know, my friend would be up to go audition. I'm like, yeah, I'll wait for you to come out because I want to keep talking about wrestling. And I was like, you know what? This will be what the podcast is.
Comedians dissect wrestling to an unhealthy degree. I'm your host, the host with the most, Dan Black, a.k.a. Dunsky. Black Amora, a.k.a. Dani Wrestling. Dani Wrestling. A.k.a. Donnie Capri from that time I went to Italy. Only way to support the show, if you like what we're doing, if you want to support it, go to patreon.com/comedians of wrestling, get access to our bonus episodes.
I will tell you right now that no matter what, if I started working at the WWE in any capacity whatsoever, I will go on record to tell you right now, it'll never ruin it for me.
Can you imagine? I feel like if Vince yelled at me, while he's yelling at me, I'd be laughing like, this is so fucking amazing. Vince McMahon is yelling at me.
Very close
You'd be like, you're fired. I'm like, thank you. This is amazing. So the Comedians Wrestling Podcast is not just a wrestling podcast. It is wrestling.
Stunner! A Stone Cold Stunner! 1, 2, 3! Yes! Dan Black has done it!
I'm not a spectator. I'm not very good at being a spectator. If I like something, I gotta partake. You know, I've always had that my whole life. First time I saw improv comedy, I signed up for a class like instantly. I was like, I gotta do that.
The following announcement has been paid for by the Comedians of Wrestling podcast.
Now let me tell you something, brothers. Now, there's a lot of professional wrestling podcasts out there to choose from, but the only podcast that really matters is the Comedians of Wrestling.
To be funny, I bought a big gold, the flare belt replica title, and I spray painted COW on it. And it was to sell a merchandise item. I was like, we'll make merch like this. It'll be our new logo, right? It's a way to support the podcast. I started a podcast about professional wrestling, talking about it, analyzing it. It's only a matter of time before I dip my toe in the ring, you know?
Two, start!
From my perspective, what I love about pro wrestling, I mean, there's so many facets of it, but, you know, story. I'm a story guy, okay? And I think that with our podcast, I kind of stumbled into a work-shoot scenario, a real story with one of my friends. Ify Nwadiwe he's a comedian living in Los Angeles. Again, I look for elements of truth for what we do. Ify's a guy, I had taught him improv. I was his improv teacher. He's an extremely hilarious guy. He and I did a comedy show one night. This show, Tournament of Nerds in LA at UCB. Hilarious show. Check it out. And it was the Cow Podcast meets the Tournament of Nerds. Ify had won, and then kind of as an aside, I said, they were like, hey, if whoever wins this gets the Cow title. And I just kind of agreed to it because it was a stage show. But then I took it home. So then I was like, you know what? Let's have that be something that like really stuck in Ify's claws. You know, like it's something that really, really irked him for a long time. That he's been stewing about it. So the day I got back from our live show in New York, where I won back the Cow title from Adam Lederman, my past sponsor of the show, I got a masked attacker took me out in my first podcast back as the champion. And then for months and months, people were like, who is this guy? Who's this masked guy? We called him Cow Hunter. He had a fake Facebook account. He was kind of like stalking me on social media. I go, oh, who could it be? Who could be upset with me? I was like, oh, it's someone who believes they've been wronged by me. And who could this be? Ify Nwadiwe. And he unmasked himself when I called about who he was, and then I offered him a title shot at Del Close Marathon at 1:50 a.m. in the morning, June 29th, 2019, I believe. Del Close Marathon is the Upright Citizens Brigade, which is an improv theater in LA and New York. It's where I was trained and came up and performing sketch and improv comedy. They every once a year have a 72-hour non-stop improv marathon. It's very fun. And so it's all improv shows, and I decided to have a wrestling match during it. Oh yeah, we got some blood. Went to Halloween store, picked up some blood capsules. Blood. Gonna have to be for when Ify really destroys me. And because tonight we're starting the Ify saga, you know, which is this guy's real strong, and you know, might be something too tough for me to overcome. How am I gonna do it? No one knows, including me. I don't know yet. We'll have to figure it out.
See you guys.
Yeah.
How you doing?
No, what's up, dude? How's it
Oh
going?
shit, man. Another day in La La Land.
Absolutely.
Fucking crazy place. I hate it and I love it all at the same time.
Absolutely.
Here, dude, so I'm still adjusting.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You gotta adjust.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, you didn't interrupt.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah. I mean, should we work him in the story? So I'm gonna go get spray tan. I think I'm wearing white trunks tonight. I have the UCB logo on the butt, and I gotta look nice and tan for the white. You gotta make the white, it's gotta pop off of it. But I try to get full on into the experience. So one thing is I wear trunks. I wear like little trunks. It's part of that something, again, like how the podcast intertwines, is that like when I gotta wrestle, I'm backed into a corner because I always say like wrestlers should look like wrestlers. I don't even say that. You can do it. Like if you got talent, you got Kevin Owens level talent, dress however you want. But I'm like, if you want to be taken immediately seriously as a heavyweight, it really helps to throw on the undies. All right. Is this the lady you got me last time? I don't get like spray. I look like a guy who would get spray tanned a lot, but like I don't get it. Like I'm not like vain in that kind of way. But when you go in, these people, they're talking to you like you get a spray tan a lot. Getting like wrestler tan is not that easy. Like, they are very dark. I showed the lady a picture of Hulk Hogan, like Hollywood Hogan. You know what I mean? Like the tannest of the tan Hogan. And she was like, I don't think I can do that for you. So it's gonna look like I got very tan, but not like Hogan, really, not the Hogan level.
No, that's his name's Hogan?
Yeah, Hulk
I don't know who sprayed him. I want to talk to who sprayed him.
I don't know. Probably a whole team.
And what they use.
Like a fire engine. They just sprayed it. Does it get darker?
A little bit. You'll see your full color in about 30 minutes to an hour.
Everyone involved in the Cow storylines in the Cow Pro Wrestling universe, they're involved in the podcast somehow. So Sarah Claspell is the referee in this match. Sarah Claspell is a good friend of mine, hilarious comedian, actress, and she had been on the podcast a couple times. I think it's funny. She doesn't know that much about pro wrestling, so I was like, I'll make her the referee. So she has to learn how to be a referee.
We have a show at 5:40 in the morning.
Right. So like no one wants to see it.
And that's not the last show that I'm doing.
You're doing it for you. No one wants to see it. But it's just about keeping the marathon going for like when people do want to watch again. But it is kind of this like beautiful thing. It's very cool. The cool thing about the improv marathon, I think, is like people were like really in the shit on improv. Like you're really trying to learn it. You're like new to it and you're really inspired by it. Like seeing it is like life changing. Like when I was like just starting improv and I went to the Del Close Marathon, I like packed a bag of food and I would sit there because if you leave, you have a wristband, you get back in line, but like you're in queue, so it's like as people leave, it starts being one in, one out.
Walsh says 3 o'clock.
140, about to go out and wrestle, which is like, it's strange because it's like a complete shift in energy for them. But we do have I think we'll be okay because we have the improv joke up top. We're acknowledging the fact that it's not improv and we have the video. So it's like, it's part of what is, I think, works about it is like, it's like, oh shit, and they're seeing something different.
Comedians of Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host.
Are you setting up the table?
Comedians of Wrestling Podcast. Baby, Dan Black.
Marathon, so we are legally obligated to do some improv
That's
before
right.
we start the match.
The UCB fleet forced it, Dan, an email.
Did you bring the bananas? No, I forgot. It's too bad.
That's 3. That was good. I've never done one that well.
When I rewatched this match back, all I could think about is like, what is wrong with me, you know? And I jump on the back wall. I jumped off to hit him onto steps. So that's another thing, because I didn't really look like, I easily could have landed on a step, rolled my ankle or some shit. You know what I mean? Part of me that was like, well, maybe this is how it should go. Maybe the Cow title's over. Maybe, maybe it's just, we just go back to talking about Brock and what's going on in WWE and the wrestling world.
Take me off the wall. I'm a fucking embarrassment. I don't belong to be on this fucking wall. Take this down now. I don't know if I have the fucking energy. I don't have the guts to start over. Have you ever started over? Have you ever started over in your life? You ever start from zero? You start from scratch. You're working so hard to get to a level, to get to a place where you think you're fucking unstoppable, and then you realize, unstoppable. It's not even real. It's not even a real thing. So what are you even chasing? What's even the point? What's the point of it all? It's a maze. It's a never-ending maze. And I'm the fool who keeps getting caught in the maze. That I'm gonna solve it, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna be successful, I'm gonna be unstoppable, I'm gonna be strong, I'm gonna be powerful, I'm gonna train my ass off, I'm gonna be the best that I can be, I'm gonna be the best at the UCB theater and the best around the world that I can even beat. Fuck, I could be Kofi Kingston, I could be Seth Rollins, I could be at the fucking top. And then you realize a jump like that manhandled me. No. I don't know. He was the better man, fine. I'll say that. Tonight, he was the better man. But I'm not even sure if I am a fucking man. All right, now just leave me alone. Leave me alone.
What's up, Jabroniacs? I told you the time for talk was over.
What the fuck? Shit is this? What is this, dude? What is that? You brought keto stuff.
I'm back. Cheers up. Cheers up.
It wasn't just me. It was also the listeners of the podcast. The listeners started hounding him. He runs a Twitch stream for Twitch. He works for Twitch. Super Punch. He runs a show nightly. They started sending him questions every night, hitting him up. Ify, when are you going to give Dan a title shot? When are you going to give Dan a title shot? His comedy career was basically put on hold. We were trolling him.
I'm not fucking around, Ify. About to get Randy Orton, baby. Out of nowhere.
Eventually, he said, send me an email, like a man, okay? He couldn't take the pressure of everybody coming at him. He wanted email just to get us out of his way. And you know what I did? I sent him an email. I drafted an email live on the podcast. And you know what? He said, fine, I'll give you a title shot. I mean, this is 6 months later. I'll give you a title shot. But here's the thing. It's going to happen anytime, any place. On Valentine's Day 2020. Knock on my door. Sarah Claspell had shown up in a referee shirt. I immediately knew what was going down. And we had ourselves a match in my house.
Comedians of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship of the World.
It is happening. Well, good thing I called. Good thing I woke up from my nap.
This is a Dan Black's House of Horror match because this is a Dan Black's house.
It is happening now in his own home.
We're obsessed with our method actors like Daniel Day-Lewis.
And he's gonna turn this off after this joke, apparently.
I was slammed onto my wood floor. I made a vow to myself that I would always be ready. And I'd been walking around for weeks in gear underneath my clothing, waiting for Ify to attack. I knew what I had to do, you know? And I had to beat him at his own game, and my stunner, I needed to up the stunner. I needed to take it to the next level. So I thought of the high ground stunner. He wasn't kicking out of that. And that was a victory that I was able to take home.
That's it.
I'm the guy crawling in the dark looking for answers. Well, Uba Stank, you are deep. Oh, hey, Dan. Well, how'd it go? Oh, my God. Dan Black has done it! He has captured the Comedians of Wrestling Podcast Championship on his own property!
I mean, it feels amazing to be the Cow Champion again. This title that I remember spray painting like it was yesterday, and it was meant to just be a fun prop to make this t-shirt, and it's turned into really a symbol of hard work, determination, and dedicated podcasting, you know?
The following announcement has been paid for by the Comedians of Wrestling Podcast.
Hi, I'm Dan Black, Comedians of Wrestling podcast host and champion of the world. As my first action as Cow Heavyweight Champion, I am retiring the coveted Cow Heavyweight title forged in toxic plastics overseas and introducing a new responsible title, the Cow Eco-Friendly Heavyweight Championship of the world. Woo! She's a beaut. Remember, handle life responsibly. Wake up, step up, cheers up.